These are mad for road. Just as well I have the wrong side blocked and the right side easy. What are we? The 17th of September. And we're doing a little move out of this field onto a lane. You've seen it before. And into another field beyond them trees there. Now they're going on to not amazing grass, but it improves as they go on through and into it. So I only have the gate and the quad blocking. Come on, keep moving. I have a little bit of a string across the road on the far side of the gate. Come on. I'm mad for picking the ditches lately. They like that ivy. No, I let them at it. No panic at all today. We're a Sunday. We're lazing on a Sunday afternoon. Maverick, my girls, keep moving. Now, away they go. I have my girls at the far side up beyond. A good bit away, so they'll not see the cattle going in, but they're here with me. So I'll close this gate and I'll be back in a sec. Handbrake. Now, it's lovely to be able to move cattle on your own and not worry about where they're going to go. That's the great benefit of this, the daily moves. Most of the time daily moves. The cattle kind of get to know where they're going to go. And especially on a kind of well-secured lane like this, they're not mad to go into gaps. Well, oh my god, that was open a little bit, but they didn't go in. They'll definitely be behaving more today now than they were on the way down. It's fairly secure, this lane. Coming up the rest of the way, or before this, on the last video, it's kind of a, well, it's a lane also, but it tends to, it can have traffic on it. Never traffic on this much. So we're definitely getting into a more wintry kind of spell. We had lots of rain, it's cooling down, even though today is actually a bit milder, but yesterday was cool. We had a lot of rain yesterday. Was it yesterday, last night and this morning? It was a dry day yesterday actually, and the day before that was wet as well. So we still haven't got all our turf home, but it's up off the ground and it's dry and have a wet day. So that's what they're going into now. Yes, it's rushy. It was topped once this year as well. It won't be topped again until next year. There's nice picking through it. But we're, what time now? We're in the afternoon, so tomorrow morning they'll be going to the far side of that fence, which is here. They'll be going to the far side and walking their way up. There's about maybe 4 acres in this area altogether. So they're moving in. You can see the puddles are full. There's a lot of water on the ground. In here is wet also. There's my girls up at the far gate. I don't know, can you see them? But I'm glad to get these into grass, and they're very pleased to get it too. So they've no excuses to be calling. Very good. Another successful move. What day are we? We are the 19th of September. It's a Tuesday. Now I have noticed that the cattle are hungry these few days. There's 5 less in this herd. 2 cows and 2 calves, a yearling and a bull missing. Well, separated out. And I'm giving them the same areas and they're eating them down as quick. So they're definitely, well, I'm giving it to them anyhow. I had them, they're on this little area here for the last 12 hours. They were at the far side of that fence where the quad is there. So they had this whole strip in the last 24 hours. Now I'm going to let them in behind them woods there. There's about 2 acres in it. I'm not going to fence it off into divisions. I'm going to let them have it all and probably leave them on it for 2 days. Yeah, it's awkward with all the vegetation. There's lots of trees in there, and there's lots of obstructions in my way. So I've arrived here. They're very relaxed. I definitely had to give them this bit last night. But they're full this morning, and I'm going to move them any minute now. We are being hammered again with rain. Last night it rained heavy, and it's still continuing as I speak. The phone might start misbehaving now as well as the screen gets wet. But at least the cattle are not giving out to me. They were standing here chewing their cud. A couple of the calves were under the wire there, as they tend to do, under that tree there, getting a bit of shelter. So yeah, I will open up the fence. And they're coming into this place. It had 50 days rest. There was nice stuff underneath that bullock where he's standing, but away down that wetter side it was poorish enough with them rushes there. I did top these early in the year, just the once, so they came back very strong, but they didn't go to flower. So the next time they're here, which could be January, they'll probably nip them rushes better. I'll do a little bit of feeding in here. I'll bring probably hay, because in the winter time it gets fairly wet, even though it never got dry at all this year really. But things are super quiet here at the minute. So I will open up the fence and let them through. So they're happy enough to move anyhow. Maverick, you've no notions yet, have you? Unless I missed her, this lady hasn't been bold at all. God almighty. She frightened me. The noise of her coming behind me. So yeah, Maverick never came bulling, but I do believe she's correct and right for breeding. Just what I'm going to do is now, they tend to come into honey. I must check and see if you squeeze her teats, you'll draw a little bit of honey if she's in calf. A long time before she's due to calf. So that'll tell me what's going on. No. But even if she was in calf, that won't happen for a long time. But she hasn't come bulling. So this is the lovely green grass they're on now. Here, 50 days rest. It's actually sweeter, taller, longer this side of the hill than it was in there. But they have that lovely wooded, sheltery spot in there also to hang around and browse on. There's ivy in there, and there's blackthorns, and there's all kinds of stuff. Now I didn't put up any fence in here. They could go into that big old cutaway bog if they wanted it, but I'm going to go and take down the fence behind me first and then put it down and in. They're not going to be anxious to go anywhere. Why would you go into that hole anyhow? But I'm going to put up the fence because I'm going to leave them on it for a couple of days. So on the second day, as things tighten up, they'll start to stick their heads into places where they might normally not. So as I say, there's about 2 acres in here, a nice bit of a hill, a sheltery spot. It's a nice place in winter as well. As I say, there's good shelter in there. But we're not in winter yet. But it will be very wintry the next time they come back. I held them up here last January for a little bit extra, and I was drawing in round bales of hay. Just because it was a nice sheltery place for them. We had a lot of rain that time. We have lots of rain this year as well. Out from that dry spell, it's just continually raining. Well, we are an island in the middle of the Atlantic, so we can't really expect much different. Anyhow, that is it. I will tidy up my fence and I'll be back. I'm actually back from the main herd and in checking my culls or new postcode cattle, and I just said I would stick this in the middle of the video. We'll be back to the main herd shortly, but if you can just look down that fence line, I had them in this area here for the last 2 days. This was completely grown up. You can see the amount of stuff that's in it. This was last et, I think, in June maybe, or May. I had young bulls on it, and I had that black lady there too, and Maverick, I think. I had a few cattle on it anyhow, but I think this is a perfect example of the benefits of soil armour. This is a really wet place in here. You can see the little hole marks that they have made, and this is off my biggest cow here, which is lead cow. There she is, and how well this land has been protected. You can see it is squishy, but they have not broken the scrap. The soil is completely protected. This is a wet corner, absolutely wet. So I've moved them into a small little section here. They have lots of grass to eat. They'll be on this for 2 days. I give them a smaller area. I'm going to try and get as much eaten out of it as I possibly can, but I just think that line is amazing looking. You can do what's ahead of them and what they have left behind, and it's a perfect example of what regenerative agriculture is. Now, some say there might be a rotten old butt to this when it regrows, but no, that'll all break down into the ground and we'll have young, fresh. Let me just show you here. I turn the phone around, not so quick. So this is a 2 acre field. You can see all the trample here. Look at that. All that soil armour lying down. Some amount of stuff. Perfect. That'll keep that soil warm over the winter time. And we can see going down here that this place down here has already rested for nearly 2 weeks. So by the time they leave this 2 acre field, by the time they leave that top corner, this bottom corner here has already rested for 2 weeks. So this is how we get our long recoveries. Whereas if we left them in here, I'd probably get 3 weeks out of it. Or probably maybe the same amount of time. Let me just think, how long were they here? The same amount of time of grazing, except they'll be leaving and it will not have rested at all. So the resting only begins when they leave altogether. Whereas you can already see the young clover coming back and the plantain is recovering and the new grasses are all grown up there. So this will not be grazed again for I don't know how long. Whenever I need it, to be honest. I'm not worried about times now. Just I use my eye, and when it's ready and when I need it, I'll use it. But I definitely believe that leaving land rest, different fields, different years, leaving them super rest, an extended rest period, and let them get mature and then trample them down. And even the rushes, look at that. All the rushes are lying down. Now, this is a wet field, but it makes no odds. The grass holds them up, the soil armour. So yeah, I'll go back to the cattle below. So that's me sorted now for the day. I won't have to move these for about 2, if not 3 days. Well, all depending on what it looks like tomorrow. But 2 days definitely anyhow. As I say, they have all this green here, and then they have picking in through them woods there as well, and plenty shelter. So while I was putting up my fence, I was just thinking to myself, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 animals here with belts. And if Ruby has any of them in calf, which I think, I have my suspicions that this lady is in calf to Ruby. And we know for a fact that our black shorthorn is in calf to Ruby. Well, we definitely saw him tip her, so. And actually, now that I think of it, this lady could be as well. So we'll have lots of belts regardless. So this lady's going to produce a belt regardless of who she's carrying for, and her daughter here. So yeah, it's amazing really. The genetics is starting to spread. So here's our young stock bull at the minute, the clean-up boy, browsing on spruce trees of all things. Yeah, so that's basically it. On the 19th of September, I'll close down and we'll talk again very soon. So for now, I will say good luck and goodbye.